Okay, world is back again. You go out shopping and you can absolutely guarantee there's always something you forget. And in this case, it was the one item I really needed to get, which was a printer cartridge. But never mind, back out again. I got everything else everybody else wanted, but not what I wanted. But it does allow me to do another little camera test, which is no bad thing. There we go. Well, the results of this, of the last little test I did was very interesting, particularly with the boom mic. Got very good audio out of it. A bit of wind noise, but then I say it didn't have a dead cat cover on it, so you can't expect too much from it. May also be well worth turning the sensitivity down a little. The interesting thing was how directional it was. It didn't pick up all the noise from the surroundings. This I'm back using my little throat mic, which is the standard drift microphone, just with a little dead cat cover, and slipped into my neck scarf. Camera sensitivity, mic sensitivity is set at max for this. The camera itself, because I wouldn't mind trying this on the computer, and because my computer is at the moment incapable of handling anything better, I've got it running at 720 at 30 frames per second. We are in low light mode. Bit rate is at normal. I'll see how it goes. The original test with the last ride I did about half an hour ago in the low light mode was very impressive. Not bad at all. That was at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Might be even better if I pushed it all the way down to 25 frames, give the a better exposure, and also it makes it PAL compliant. So I might then be able to put it on a disc and run it on the TV, keep it as a record. But we shall see what we can do. But anyway, this little boom microphone I tested out looks very interesting. But particularly if I manage to cut out the wind noise or the dead cat, it was quite impressive. I really do think it was worth considering. As I say, it was sold. I got it off eBay, and I'd seen it advertised actually to use with a GoPro, but it uses a standard 2.5mm connection plug, and of course for the GoPro use you needed an adapter for the USB input. But I had thought about using it initially, just cannibalizing it and putting it on a little Velcro mount so to go on the side of the helmet or just inside. But you can actually use the standard mounting system, which is designed for rock climbing or something like that. But it actually goes inside the helmet quite comfortably. I've been a little bit fiddly, and it doesn't seem to cause it, once you've got the helmet on, it's quite nice. Wouldn't be so good if you were wearing earplugs, I don't think. But that's something else. We'll look at it anyway. But I'm quite impressed. As I say, it only cost 15 quid. I can't remember who's in selling. I think it was an outfit based in Cyprus, which I must admit I sort of thought, oh well, here we go, let's roll the dice. But it arrived within 3 days. You couldn't ask for better, so they're definitely going to get some good feedback. And as I say, it really did work. Quite impressive. Anyway, we're just popping into Long Eaton. Back into Tesco, go and get this blooming printer cartridge and a bottle of wine for the casserole that my stepdaughter Kim's making for our evening meal tomorrow, because I've got my stepson Simon and his wife Lynn coming round, so we are entertaining. So we've got to make her put up a good show. So Kim's going into full cooking mode at the moment. You know, as I was saying earlier, now that we've got the throttle response on this FJR sorted out, it really is nice. This bike, by the way, if you haven't seen any of my other ones, is the AS variant, and it's got this has got the auto clutch system fitted to it, and this system was actually given quite a slating in the US press, mostly because it was frankly quite rough. The on-off throttle response was quite rough. This is due to lean jetting, or should I say lean injection fueling profile, and also the idle probably being set wrong. And it's the idle that's the real critical thing, because if they're set a little bit low, you get some very snatchy response. But I've got mine set exactly at 1050, and you can see this is first gear trickling, and just roll the throttle on and it's smooth. And these bikes are unbelievably manoeuvrable. I mean, this is practically on full lock, right? Where full lock, this is the sort of centre parking, and you see how beautifully balanced this is. You've got just the right throttle response. And just to prove that it's not entirely one way, around we go the other way. And this is not quite full lock, but it's pretty close, and just round, 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 round. Of course, with the AS system, you don't get the precision clutch control, but you just modulate it with the rear brake. And you see, this is a standard sort of parking space, so you can see the sort of turning wheel. And this is how good you can get the system set up. I mean, don't get me wrong, a smooth hand helps, but it's not the disaster zone that everyone initially said. I mean, when I first got this bike, it was terrible. It really was bad. I really thought I'd made a complete purchasing disaster. But I'd say 3 simple things, of which the simplest is the most effective. Get that idle set up, because what happens if it's set too low, the throttle bodies close too far, and when you go from throttle on to throttle off, you get a very sharp surge. It's also not having a over low idle isn't very good for the engine itself, because you get a lot of vacuum behind the throttle valves, and this causes damage to the oil seals on the inlets, can overstrain them. But if you set it for about 1100 RPM, which you probably can just see there, it's absolutely fine. The other things are, you can enrichen the ECU on the European ones by getting into the maintenance schedule. Very simple procedure. And the other thing is throttle body sync. Just make the throttle. This one allegedly had a service, a 6,000 mile service before I bought it. Well, all I can say is they certainly didn't do the throttle bodies, because when I put the vac gauges on, 1 and 2 were running about 1 centimetre higher than 3 and 4. I might tag on the photos I took and the final result. And you know, that's supposed to be, I mean, that's maintenance through a dealer for you. Can't trust them. Anyway, mate, I'll speak to you later. I will just pop into Tesco and get what I have to do. See you then. Well, dude, back again. Just got what I need to do, namely the printer cartridge and a bottle of red wine for the meal tomorrow. Oh dear, just got to tuck in some wires from the mic, which somehow hadn't. There you go, that's a bit better. Bung that up there. Oh dear, that should have been caught. Good, that's better. Well, I say, got what we need to do, so we'll tootle on back. We might take a bit of a scenic route to go have a look at the exciting nightlife of Long Eaton on a Saturday night. Woohoo! Well, what there is of it. That'll take about 10 seconds. Right, let's get this old girl pushed out. I say, I'm quite interested to see how well this camera works in low light, under street lights and that, because I haven't tried it yet. Okay. That's one thing about the FJR AS. The gear shift pattern is a little unusual for modern jet bikes, and that is you have neutral at the bottom and for everything straight up. So it's five speeds straight up. Which, if you've ever ridden older Japanese bikes, I mean really old, back in the late 60s, early 70s, you'll be familiar with some rather strange gear patterns. The reason for that is, of course, that this thing has an electrically operated shift system. As in, although you've got a foot shift for the gears, you also have a set of paddles, and both of them operate. There we go, there's the. We'll go round to the middle of town, see what we've got. Anyway, both of them operate an electronic actuator that operates the shift. It looks remarkably like a sort of a very much beefed up quick shifter. But the point being is, the system will not allow you to pedal down into neutral while moving. And I think the reason why they put the gears at the neutral at the bottom is simply with, of course, it's a straight out electric actuator that just pushes it. Whereas, you know, if you are looking for neutral between first and second, well, you can see it's busy here. See? God almighty. You'd think it was like middle of the week, wouldn't you? But there you go. This electric actuator is just, you know, like a quick shifter, so it doesn't have the sort of fine feel to get that in between positions. So to select neutral, like for instance, if we come up to this light here and we just thunder, oh damn, there we go, that goes straight down to content. That's the only trouble with this paddle, it's just for shifting down, it's just below the horn button, and I hit it every damn time going down. This is why I tend to use the foot shifter. Oh dear. Nice, there we go, just getting a nice little bit of breeze on the face. Temperature at the moment is, hold on, I will tell you, 9 degrees C. That's not bad, although that might be a little bit of an overread because it has been sitting still and the heat from the engine gets up to the sensor. But we'll just watch that, see what happens. Let's bring that down. Yeah, it's sometimes quite nice, you know, if you have a bit of a stressy week, just to ride. Here we are, we're just coming along Tamworth Road, heading out along Eton towards the railway station. Just pop the screen up a little bit just to make sure that we're getting good protection. Keep the wind noise off the mic. Got heated grips on, so that's nice. Yeah, they're on max. I just feel them coming through. Yeah, temperature's going to drop back to 8. That's more sensible. You know, I know I need to get back soon because it's almost 9 o'clock and I haven't cooked Kim her tea yet. And I did promise her. But it might be tempting just to take a few minutes, little sort of a tootle round. Just for some fun. And as I say, sometimes it's just nice just to ride, just to follow the front wheel. Where should we go? I tell you what, yeah, we'll go out, we'll head off as if we're heading for home, but we might just take a bit of an extra loop. This is now in the fair borough of Sawley. Actually, Sawley village, it's actually here, I think before Long Eaton. Certainly Old Sawley, which is a little bit further on, more to where I live. Actually I think it's certainly mentioned in the Doomsday Book. There was even Roman fortifications relatively close by. The reason being is there used to be a ford over the river, and up where the road goes over the river now, the River Trent, it's about the highest area around here. There's I think a sandstone bluff underneath, and it's of course it's no coincidence that the church is built there, and also the pub, the Harrington Arms. So the two most important things going at the time were the church and the pub, so they stayed above the rising water. And this area used to flood quite badly until they got the flood defences in. In 47 there were huge floods here. There's a couple of photos in one of the pubs up here. I think it's in the Dog and Duck, I can't remember, or was it in the White Lion? Anyway, it showed this junction coming here, absolutely full of water, and guys in rowboats. That's quite interesting. go. As I say, this little hump we just got over is part of the flood defences. Now crossing the river trench, and if you look down the river, you'll see the power station just down over there, guys. That's Ratcliffe-on-Soar Power Station. Out here we've got Sawley Marina. Bring the screen up a little bit. Alright, and clear behind, let's go. Tell you what, the lights on this FJR are brilliant. They're just standard H4 halogens, but this is main beam, and it's absolutely fantastic. Best set of headlights I've ever ridden behind. That's on dip, not much worse. We'll just go up to the roundabout and pop back, and we'll say, I've got the feed Kim, and I haven't had anything to read either. This is control. One-handed, turning, go the other way. And I'm on the... Yeah, look at this. Up to the lights, and roll on, and round we go. Oh, I tell you what, be a bit sneaky. We'll go down into Donington. This thing really is just a big sport bike. You can hustle it. I mean, it's a big bike. There's no two ways around it. But you can really throw it, swing it around a little bit. There we go. Ah, we just hit a plug of flow. Can we be bothered going through, or should we just turn around and go back? I suppose I ought to turn around and just go back. We'll just do from here. And away we go. Yeehaw! Well, that's a bit of fun. Not good for fuel consumption, but great fun. Anyway, back to being sedate. Good fun. Right, we'll roll it. Maybe, yeah, he's going down the side low. Right. Oh, there you go. You see the power station again over there. All good fun. Oh, the red lights you can probably see flashing on my left wrist. That's the remote control for the drift camera. That's just letting me know everything's still working. As I say, it's not a bad night. Yeah, temperature's got 7 degrees now we got out of town. Just coming back into Sawley. Head home, and as I say, I better cook Kim her tea. I said I was going to make her a nice omelette, so that'll be it. I fancy going to the pub, but everybody's out tonight, so everyone's away tonight. So I think it'll just have to be a few tinnies in the fridge and have a sit down and put a film on or something. Yeah, being nagged at by the sign there. Yeah, we were doing 35, so okay. Background past the church and the pub, or one of the pubs. We got 3 in a straight line here. That's the white line here. They're actually not bad, and the Nag's Head's just over there. And here we are, yet another pub. This is the railway. Oh, we recently had it redone. Put up all these bollards to stop people ram raiding it. Interesting to check the tyre pressures tomorrow, just to check how it's going. Anyway guys, I'll speak to you later. You take care. Bye.